So now you've forsaken the spirit and the promises, the prophecy that God told us. The book of Acts chapter 2, the day of Pentecost, they received the strength, and Peter stood up. He proclaimed the message of God, and the people at that time, they also understood the word. 3,000 people that moment repent to accept Jesus as their personal savior. You can only speak again. God bless you for you watching me and my people. God really bless you. We give glory to God for such a wonderful hand upon our life. Won't you help me to say hallelujah to the Most High God? I want to speak with you the prayer Jesus Christ prayed. The prayer Jesus Christ prayed. The book of Matthew chapter 26 verses 39. Matthew chapter 26 verses 39. The prayer God prayed. I read from the King James Version. Bible says that he went a little further and fell on his face. Fell on his face. I love that. And prayed, saying, "Oh my Father, it is possible. If it is possible, let this cup pass from me." You gotta understand. Let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Nevertheless, not as I will, but you will. Someone should underline and fell on his face. And fell on his face. Someone should underline little further. And someone should underline not as I will. I want to speak with you on this third statement, and that in this third sentence in that statement. He said Jesus Christ moved further. He didn't stop there. He went there. He put his face on the ground. He didn't end there. He spoke to God that God, let this cup pass over me if it is possible. But he spoke something to God that God, not as I will, but as you will. Whoa. What that this one means, it means a lot to our life and our destiny, and where we are going. That's our destination. Everybody needs and supposed to know where and what he was created for, and he was created to be. Everyone is supposed to know the first prophecy he had before doing anything he wanted to do. I want to preach on a topic entitled, "It don't qualify to be your mind." It don't qualify to be your mind. There are some qualifications that you need in your mind. There are thoughts, are ideas that we gather. Thoughts are ideas that we gather, and there are thoughts that don't qualify to be in your mind. So things that are in your mind are things that qualifies to be there. If they don't qualify to be in your mind, they would have not come in your mind. So if you're supposed to check yourself, you're supposed to sit down, analyze yourself. You're supposed to come together about something. You're supposed to know what you are born to do. You're supposed to know where you heard the message from before following, getting up, before walking. The Bible said that the cripple met Jesus Christ. All of a sudden, the cripple saw himself walking. The word that the cripple saw, the word that the cripple heard before walking is stand and walk. So the people met the cripple. He said, "Cripple, no, this abomination to be healed today. It is a bad day for you to be healed." Who did that? Where cometh the man? When the cripple answered them, he said, "I know not any man, but what I know is the man who told me." That's the prophetic word I heard. The reason why I'm walking is I heard the prophetic word. The prophetic word I heard is walk. So if you are here to let me say it again, then I want to tell you that word sit don't qualify to be in my mind. I'm not supposed to say. I'm supposed to walk. Because the first word I heard before standing on my feet is stand and walk. I want to tell somebody today. There are some thoughts. There are some ideas. There are some information that try to be your mind always. It makes you think and think to a point that you become confused in your life. But I want to tell you and tell you again that such thoughts are not thoughts which qualifies to be in your mind. Your mind has a specific qualification that needs a specific ideas. Your mind may be having a diploma. Your mind may be having a degree. Your mind may be having a doctorate. It is limited that your mind should be supposed to be in a position. And if your mind is in a position, that means that the idea that will come in your mind is supposed to be similar to that position. So, some ideas, some thoughts that have been coming into your mind does not qualify. You're supposed to sit and know yourself, the qualification that you have, before you accept some ideas. You're supposed to sit, know the qualification that you have in your mind, where your mind has matured to. I'm talking about mind maturity. So where your mind has matured to, where it's matured to, you don't qualify to think that thing. So Jesus Christ went further. What does that mean? That one means that anytime you want to move to another step, you want to do anything, you're supposed to move further. You're supposed to think further. You're supposed to come to agreements of what you have. You're supposed to get that information. You're supposed to go extra miles. You're supposed to go for an advice and other stuff. There are a lot of people who are in our life broke, don't know what you're doing because they did things that didn't go further. Jesus Christ, who was gripped with sorrow, who was thinking that I'm gonna die, the flesh is gonna suffer, praying the Lord. Bible says that when he wanted to ask a certain question, when he wanted to do something, he moved further. Further means going extra miles. Further means having patience of what you want to do. Further means giving an extra time to what you want to do now. If you want to divorce, if you want to break a certain relationship, if you want to quit, if you want to stop that business, if you want to stop that thing because of financial crisis, because of debt and other stuff, you want to stop it, then I want to tell you that go further. Go further. Jesus Christ taught to stop doing the work, stop going for that suffering. Jesus Christ, who taught that I'm not supposed to go and die because this world is so happy, and I'm going to suffer in the hands of Pilate and Herod, and I'm supposed to stop. But he sat down and said, no, I'll go further, because in further, that the extra miles is where all the equipment, the knowledge, the skills you need is. So you need to go further to acquire certain knowledge before you enter into what you want to enter. If you want to enter into business, a new business, you need to go for a new business idea. If you want to quit from a certain marriage, if you want to quit from a relationship, if you want to stop what you are capable and what you have the ability of doing, you are supposed to go further. Further is not a stagnant place. Further is a continuous life that people need to follow. Jesus Christ moved further. He came to agreement that these thoughts that are coming in my mind, until I move further, I will quit. So he moved further, in other words, not to quit. The Bible says he placed his face on the ground and prayed. On the ground. Sometimes people quit because of boasting. People quit because they know they're okay. People quit in a certain relationship, marriage, because they think they are the best person. People think that they think they need to stop what they're doing. They need to quit the message and they need to quit the marriage because they are right. But I want to tell you something. The ground that Jesus Christ placed his face on means that he remembered where he was created from. One thing, Jesus Christ took our body, the same body, and he came to understand that this body is earth. So he need to humble himself before the presence of God. He need to humble himself. So he need to place his face down to show how humbleness he is. So our Lord Jesus Christ need to humble himself before God. When there is a situation, an issue, remember that you have a God. Remember that you have a God whenever there is an issue. Don't go straight away and do whatever you want to do before you consult God. Consult God before you do whatever you want to do. Don't ever forget that you have a God that you worship in your life. David didn't forget it about God. Someone didn't forget it about God. John didn't forget about God. So do not forget about God. If you come to a realization of forgetting about God, your life will change from a positive to negative. So that thing you want to do, that plans you for the taking, that decision that you're going to implement, I want to tell you something today. That decision, that plans, and whatever you want to do are not from God. If you're from God, then go further. If you go further, then be humble yourself. Wait patiently. And if you wait patiently, if you seek the face of God, God is going to speak with you. Jesus Christ prayed a certain prayer. He said, God, let this cup pass over me. God, let this cup pass over me. Nevertheless, not my will, but your will. You see, any legend has this quote in his mind. Not as I will, but as you will. Not as I will, but as you will. You see, you do not move in life with your will. It's the will of God that makes you rich now. It's the will of God that makes you where you are now. So do not think that it's your will. Jesus Christ, knowing the position of him, Jesus Christ, knowing what he wants, he was advised. The prophetic word that Jesus Christ had is, anyone who will be able to die for my people's sin, I will exalt the person in a high place, that in his name all knees shall bow and all tongues shall confess. So the prophetic word that Jesus Christ had is, go die and in your name all knees shall bow and all tongues shall confess. So Jesus Christ moving before God, humbling himself, going further, praying a certain prayer, praying his own prayer, that Jesus Christ's own prayer is, God, let this cup pass over me. His own prayer, his own thinking is, God, let this cup pass over me. But let me tell you something. The thinking of God that let this cup pass over me is the desired prayer of God. Sometimes there are desired prayer of yours which don't qualify to be in your mind. So Jesus Christ prayed that prayer and he realized that this message, this information that I'm giving God don't qualify to come from me. They don't qualify to be in my mind. Nevertheless, they don't qualify to come from me. In other words, what I'm saying to my father is a mistake. I am disappointing my father. The message I'm giving now is a disappointment message. The thinking I'm thinking now is a disappointed thinking. So I need to quit. I need to stop, because that message that don't qualify to be in me. Why is it disappointment? It's a disappointment message because my father knows me well and I'm not gonna think about that. My father knows me well. I'm not gonna release that message to him. My father searching his inbox and saw that message that he said, let this cup pass over me. And who is that? It's my son Jesus. My son Jesus don't qualify to bring this message. My son Jesus can't do that. He's deceiving me. My son Jesus has disappointed me. So there are some message that I give to God. Why do you want to quit in a marriage? Why do you want to quit that business? You didn't hear the voice of God before following. And I know really that you heard the voice of God, the voice of God. You heard right the voice of God, because you didn't stood up to marry just like that. You get a message from somebody. You had a dream from God. You get a message from God. You get a really and vivid information that before you get married. So why do you want to quit? So that thought that tells you to quit from that business is a deceitful thought to God. You now disappoint God, because God didn't think that one day you're gonna disappoint him. God didn't think that one day you're gonna tell him that, God, my father, you didn't think that one day you're gonna send information to his inbox that you wanna quit that marriage. God didn't think that one day you're gonna send information to his inbox that business that you are in now, you're gonna stop it because of people's what they're saying. And I want to tell you, whatever you do, good or bad, people are gonna say. So why do you want to force yourself and do things that will never benefit your life? Don't sit on people's words and do whatever God will never please God. I want to speak to somebody today. Jesus Christ prayed that prayer. He said, God, let this cup pass over me. That's a desired prayer. You have a desired prayer, you always pray. You have a desired prayer, you always pray. Father, do this for me. Father, I want to do this. Father, I want to do this. A desired prayer that don't qualify you to pray is a prayer that you are shifting from your original prophecy. A desired prayer is a prayer. When a desired prayer becomes an unqualified prayer, it comes as a result of a position, that a message that you had from God going out from your original message. When you go out from your original message, when you go out from your original prayer, it is called a negative desire prayer. When you go out from your original message, original prayer, when you think from your original message, when you think different from your original message, that means that you giving out a wrong information, a wrong direction. And all wrong information gives a wrong direction. Let me tell you something. Jesus Christ prayed that prayer, but he remembered that there was a thought, there was a message that I had, there was a prophet that I had. My dad student told me that, my son Jesus, when you go and die, I'll exhort you that all knee shall bow and tongue shall confess. So do not forget. Immediately Jesus Christ realized that. He said, you negative desire prayer, ask for me. So God, I want to tell you something. Not as I will, but as you will. Joseph was a man like you are and I am, but a time came that Joseph, being tempted by Pharaoh's wife, being tempted into prison, being tempted by selling him to some people, known people, Bible says that Joseph stood on his feet. He prayed that prayer that, God, you're supposed to kill me or I'll kill myself. But Joseph didn't pray that prayer. He was supposed to pray that, God, I am suffering and I'm your son. I am a Jewish. Why am I passing through this temptation? Joseph didn't pray that prayer. But what Joseph said to God is not my will, but your will. And that day, the next day, Joseph was sent into prison. Not my will, but your will. Joseph was sent to prison. Not my will, but your will. 1 year came. Not my will, but your will. 2 years came. Not my will, but your will. 3 years came, and there was many years that Joseph had in prison. But when the day the will of God came to apprehended, Joseph was from the prison. If it were you and I, we would have said we don't want this position. If this position had been there for us, you wouldn't have sent us to prison. But Joseph thought that, and he came to know that the will of God has come, the kingdom of God has come for him. So Joseph said, indeed, I'll be in that position. What is the will of God in your life? What is the prophecy that you had before following what you won't follow? You are in someone's country now. It's a prophecy that you had that you go to America next 2 years. It's dates February, March, that gives you the specific date you're going to America. And the date, that specific date, you were able to go to America. But now you are quitting from the business that I am having problems. I can't do it. I want to go back. Coming back to do what? You are in Ghana here, and the prophecy that God gave you, you were born to do business. But look at it's a debt that you are carrying now. He said, I'm stopping that business. You're stopping and do what? Are you stopping to become an arm robber? You are going to that marriage and there was a prophecy. You're going to marry a certain woman. There was a message. There was a conviction in your spirit that I'm supposed to marry this woman. I'm supposed to marry this man. But because of 1, 2, 3 issues, he said, I'm going to stop marriage. Going to stop marriage and do what? You're going to stop marriage and go for fornication? Are you exchanging the original message with the fake message? Are you bringing the fake message to replace the original message? And the original message, the first prophecy that you have, that I'll be exalted and all tongues shall confess, all knees shall bow. And this fake message is, God, let this cup pass over me. And it's because of that cup that you're going to lift you there. It's that cup that you're facing now, that challenges that you're going to face now, is the same challenges who is going to lift you up. So God told Jesus that, Jesus, don't not forget that these challenges is what you're gonna lift you up. Jesus said, okay, God, I'm okay for myself. That message that I told you was a wrong message and they qualified to be me, so I forgive me, sir. And you, God, come to a point that you, God, give me the right thing so thy will be done. Always call for the will of God, not your will. Whenever you are fighting, whenever you're facing the challenges, whenever you want to do something out from your original prophecy, remember, thy will be done, not my will. But until you can say that will be done, until you can say that will be done, you need to wait in that situation, because you need to move further, go further. Jesus Christ containing that information, that bad perception that I'm gonna die, I'm gonna suffer. It was a challenge to God, but God had to move further with his challenges to a point that he fell down on his face. So there are points in your life you need to move with the same challenges further from your family, further from your friends, further from your country, further from your continent to another place, and fall your face down. When you move downwards, you're gonna pray to God that, God, not as I will that I would stop that business, but your will is I'm supposed to do that business. So not my will, but you, God, your will. God bless you, somebody. And I know your life is not going to be the same. Always remember that you have a prophecy. Always remember that you are born to do something, but it's a challenge. Satan is really there. Satan fights. Satan always fights people. Have you forgotten? That is a message that you had. Have you forgotten that until that the will of God be in you, you need to go further. You are too quick to quit. You are too quick to stop what you're doing. You are too quick to think that. You are too quick to do what you are thinking to do. But go further. Place it there. Think again. And think about God. If you think about God and his will, your will be fake. And it's an unoriginal message. Let me tell you something. You are mature enough to think that. You are mature enough to retaliate what the person did you. You are mature enough to think that statement tit for tat. You are mature enough to think that. You are mature enough to go for someone's wife. So it don't qualify to be your mind. That thinking, that message, that ideas that are stopping the will of God don't qualify to be your mind. Thing that qualifies to be your mind is the will of God. God bless you. This is your prophet, Emmanuel Osei Jesse Brain. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like my page, and don't forget to share the message. God really bless you. This is your prophet, Emmanuel Osei Jesse Brain. God bless you. Bye bye. Love you more.